Hello, beautiful souls. Today's episode is so good. And before we jump in, I have some exciting news to share. If you've ever wondered where you're blocking money, this is for you. I've created a free quiz to diagnose your money wounds so you can heal them and unblock yourself to receive more money. Just go to moneywoundsquiz.com and answer 6 quick questions to get your insanely accurate and potent results. And if you're loving my vibe and want to work one-on-one to call in more feminine energy wealth, I would love to hear from you. You can shoot me a DM on social media or go to emilywilcox.com to learn more. Hello and welcome to the Makes Money show. Well, I want to share with you guys about our first experience as Airbnb hosts. So you may know that over the Thanksgiving holiday, we went to Hawaii. One of our best friends vacationed in Hawaii and then never came back. Their family moved to Oahu. And so we went to visit them for 4 nights and then stay 4 nights at Disney's Aulani Resort. And during that time, we hosted our very first Airbnb guests in our home. So this is probably going to bring up a million questions. I think first and foremost is like, wait, you let other people into your house, like the house that you live in? Yes, we did. And I wanted to share like the thought process behind it. I'm going to break down all the numbers, how it went, would we do it again, all of that. So where I like to start is the intention. Why did we do it? So my intention was twofold primarily. Number one was to get some experience as an Airbnb host. Our vision is to start buying properties that we will Airbnb. And so for me, if there's an easy way to start to get into the vibe of a manifestation, I like to do it. Now, we could buy a property now, but we feel that over the next 6 months, the real estate market's going to get better. And so we're not ready to buy just yet. And this was a fun way to practice, so to speak. And then number 2 was the intention of opening up a new money channel and receiving. So if money had been the only reason, I don't think we would have done it. I think there are, for us, easier ways to make money. And as with anything, like your first time doing it is not going to be the most profitable. But because of the intention of really getting on the frequency of being Airbnb hosts and like having Airbnb properties, that was the part that like really felt in alignment. But I'm not going to lie, the money was amazing too. And it was nice to feel like we're on vacation and we're making money. And most of this vacation is totally paid for. So let me tell you how it went. Number 1, I think we're the right kind of people for it. Jeff and I keep a very clean house. We don't like a lot of clutter. We actually like opportunities to do a deep clean. And so like we're the kind of people that if we're moving, we're like, oh, cool. Yay. This is an opportunity to go through like every single thing that we have and release all the things that no longer serve us and get better organized. So I do think that that's important. However, there are people that rent Airbnb houses that don't mind, just staying with your stuff. But that for me was not the vibe. And I wanted to make sure that our house was up to my standard. Like, would I want to stay here knowing that it was someone else's stuff? And I made the home up to that standard. So there was a lot of cleaning and organizing that went into this, but it was stuff that really benefited us and our family as well. So again, if I were looking at it just from a pure, this is how much money and how much work I had to put into this, and here's how much money I got out, no, it would not be worth it. But because there are these like fringe and ancillary benefits, that changed, like that tipped the scales for me. So Jeff and I are also like very process oriented. We're the kind of people that if we go camping or if we go on the same vacation multiple times, like we'll create a packing list and we'll update it at the end of the vacation so that we know for the next time what we want to bring, what we want to leave behind. And we kind of enjoy that in a weird way. So also like making the list of like, here are the little house projects we want to get done. And here are the things that we'll need to do like the day before a guest comes. We're just wired for that. So that piece like didn't feel challenging and actually felt kind of fun for us, but I don't know that that would be the case for everyone. So there were lots of little things that we chose to do to get the home up to my standard, which we are now benefiting from, right? So we had some handymen come out and just do like, this house was basically brand new when we moved in, not even 2 years ago. So it's in very good condition, but like anything, like there'll be a little chip in the paint here or a little thing there, or JJ slid a small, like a tiny little board book. Somehow he got it slipped behind the pocket door of our master bathroom. So the pocket door could open most of the way, but it would get stuck like maybe 4 inches from being fully open because there was a book like back inside the wall in the track where it needed to go. So we had the handyman like do what it took to get that out. Now, would that have been a deal breaker for renting the space? I doubt it. Like I would have still rented the space if the door didn't open all the way. But it's like now we get to benefit from that too. So we did a lot of that kind of stuff. And, we had one little maintenance-y kind of thing sort of go awry. So I think like the biggest question that people have is like, well, what do you do with your stuff? So for us, we have 4 bedrooms and the 3 are for Jeff and I, and then Faye and JJ, and then the 4th is just a pure guest bedroom. So in the 3 bedrooms that are occupied, we were going to put locks on the closets. So then we could just put any personal belongings, all the personal bedding and stuff into the closet, lock it. And we bought like luggage racks. The rooms are really big. So there's like plenty of room to put your suitcase and personal belongings. And we put out luggage racks. So we're like, they don't need access to the closet. And if they really need to hang something up, the guest bedroom has a large like walk-in closet that's fully available, totally cleaned out. But it's not like it's super easy to install a lock on a pocket door because it requires like special hardware. So we actually didn't think this was going to be that big of a deal. We found some hardware that looked very similar to the hardware that's already on the pocket doors, but like had a key lock. And then when the handymen were here, they discovered that hardware that we had ordered actually wouldn't work because it was made for like a thicker pocket door than what our pocket doors were. So then we were like back to the drawing board and we found some different hardware where it looked like, imagine a deadbolt. So like just a circle lock. So we were going to have them install that, but it would have to go above the existing hardware. And so they came, 2 guys, they quoted 3 hours to do it, which seemed excessive. I think we were paying like, I don't know, $200 an hour or something like that. Maybe even just $150 an hour. We're like, okay, well, if that's what it takes, go for it. Turns out it actually took 2 guys like 9 hours to do the one and to not even do like the greatest job in the world. But it was a lot of work because they had to like cut the circle hole in the door. They also had to cut a spot for like the receiving side. So for the lock to actually go into the part of the frame. And it just took forever. Thank God they did our closet first and not one of the kids, because like that alone ended up costing like almost $1,000 in labor. So we got our closet to lock and we were like, never mind with the kids. We will just use the label maker, make a little label that says private, close each door and call it a day. Like, we weren't worried that people were going to steal stuff. It's more just like making it a nice guest experience. And then for us, obviously, like wanting to keep, private things private and just like not feel like somebody could go through our stuff, but we don't have that feeling for our kids and they're younger and all that kind of stuff. So then we put stuff from like our nightstands into our closet. We also locked one of the bathroom cabinets. So we put all of our stuff into one of the cabinets. And so there was like plenty of drawers and cabinetry free in the master bath, and then locked the rest. And that was really it. Oh, wait, no, that's not true. Okay. What else did we do to get rid of personal belongings? We have like a walk-in pantry. We locked that. So anything in the kitchen that we didn't want them to have access to, or like have access to our food, that was put in the pantry and locked. And then we locked our garage. So like anything that was on my desk, trying to think what else did we bring down there? Oh, we have an extra refrigerator and freezer in our garage. So we tried to just, eat most of our food before we left, but then we moved anything from the fridge and freezer upstairs, downstairs into the garage. And so anything that was in the garage was locked and they couldn't access that as well. But other than that, they had access to the house, and we got lucky actually, because like we would be pretty choosy about the kind of guests that we were having, but I priced the home pretty high. I priced at $888 a night. So, I don't want the kind of person that can't spend that. And we got a nice older couple, their grandparents. They wanted to come down to LA for Thanksgiving to visit their 2 adult daughters and their grandchildren. And they wanted to have, the pool and the jacuzzi so that the grandkids could swim and just, have a place for everybody to be together. The man who I was speaking to during the process, he had positive Airbnb reviews from more than 5 other hosts. So when you're a host, you get to review the guest as well, and other hosts can read that. So I felt very confident that they were going to treat our house with respect. And we put together like a whole house manual and, letting people, our guests, know where to find things and what to do with the house, but also just, sharing a picture of our family and letting them know that this is our family home and to treat it with respect and all of that. So that's something that I would definitely be careful about. And we put right in the listing, that this is a quiet family neighborhood, no parties, all that kind of stuff. We're not planning on doing a ton of Airbnb-ing of this home anyway, but these are the things that we put in place. And so like, I'm just sharing all of the details in case you're someone who's thinking about it too, like what all went into it. So I spent over $1,000 buying like new sets of bedding for all the beds, a whole second set of towels and hand towels and everything. What else? The luggage racks. And then I bought some just decorative furniture that again benefits our home as well. So, we probably put a couple grand into it between materials and labor to get the home completely ready. So our booking was not for the entire time that we were gone. I think they stayed 4 nights, and we received about $3,500 for that because they also wanted to pay to have the pool heated some of the time. So 500 of that's probably just going to go to extra gas bill. It's not like we really profited from that. So I would say like $3,000 would be kind of the net. So then obviously you take the $2,000 out of it and we made $1,000. It's not that exciting, but we now have a family booked over Christmas when we're going to be gone as well. And that one is going to bring us like $5,600. And we don't have to invest anything more into getting that booking prepared. So it's definitely one of those things where, the first time is the least profitable, and then it gets significantly more profitable as you go. But I think our full, our stay of like 4 nights at the Disney resort was around $4,000. So theoretically, had we not had the sunk cost of getting the place ready to Airbnb, the Airbnb booking for 4 nights pretty much covered the cost of us staying at 4 nights at a really nice, oceanside resort in Hawaii. Likewise, over Christmas, we're going to be on a Disney cruise, a 5-night Disney cruise, or 5-day, 4-night. Anyway, doesn't matter. Disney cruise. And for all 4 of us, all inclusive, a balcony room, I think it's 6,100. And then the Airbnb booking is like 5,600. So it mostly covers the cost of the cruise. Obviously, there's flights and there's, whatever, going to be some ancillary expenses, but we were going to go on the vacation anyway. So it's exciting that there is this money channel opening that, just in the course of, I guess like 8 days total or 9 days total of having our house rented brings in almost $10,000, right? And otherwise the house would have sat empty. So for us, we're excited about it. Again, are we going to do it a ton? No. I'm making the house available over spring break week when I think we'll be gone. Like, I only want to do it if we're going to be gone anyway, and if it's like a long enough chunk of time to make it worth it. Because it is a lot of work getting the house prepared, because you have to change the bedding on all of the beds. Like I have a whole checklist to follow, but like getting the house in pristine condition when we live here, when we've got kids here, even with house cleaners, it's a lot. We also have professional cleaners that come the day that guests check out, and they take pictures of the whole place, let us know if there are any issues, and get the whole house all reset. So that's an additional expense, but that's also basically paid for by the guests, because with Airbnb, you can add a cleaning fee on as well. So overall, we were really happy with our first experience. We really liked the family. I had some communication with him just about like a few little questions, but none of it was like a huge deal or problematic at all. And I felt like they treated our home really well. We got home and even my husband said like, well, it still feels like our place. You did a really good job. I saged the place, of course, like right when we got home, just because I want to reset the energy and make it ours. But it did feel really nice to be able to share our home with another family and know that they made memories here and that they had a really beautiful vacation. I also just did like little over the top touches. They wanted an early check-in. Sure. They wanted a late checkout. Sure. I sent them an edible arrangement, which if you've never heard of that, it's almost like a bouquet, but of fruit. And like a lot of it's like chocolate dipped. That was something that an Airbnb host did for me on one of my recent retreats. And I loved it. I felt so special and it felt really nice to receive that. So I wanted to do that as well as a host. And of course, left like some little welcome gifts and stuff on the counter when they got here too. So I did all of those little touches. I know they had a fantastic time. They left us a 5-star review and we enjoyed hosting them as well. I think the same thing will happen over Christmas. Like I feel really good about the family that's coming. And I think it will still feel like I'm on vacation. They're going to feel like they're on vacation. They can message me if anything comes up. But yeah, that was our first experience hosting Airbnb. I think that's like the full breakdown. I'm trying to think of any questions you guys would have for me and answer them. But our plan is probably like in the next 6 months to buy a property that we can Airbnb. Although we just talked to some people we know that are big in real estate and they were really making the case for long-term rentals. So who knows, maybe we'll do a long-term rental instead and scrap the whole Airbnb idea. But to me, because we are Airbnb guests all the time and we use it to go on vacations, it's very easy for me to get into the mind of my ideal client. It's a little bit harder with long-term rentals because we wouldn't be doing it in Southern California. And so then I just don't know the rental market as well. I think we'll need to do a little bit more educating of ourselves to see. But real estate is definitely one of the ways that we want to continue multiplying our wealth. And it felt really fun to open up this new money channel. So I honestly think that like most people's reaction to this would be like, wait, what? You let people stay in your own house? But again, that's where intention is everything, because this was not, we want to make a quick buck. This really aligned with our future wealth building vision. And because of that, it was fun. And it was fun to have some practice in it and see what it felt like to actually be Airbnb hosts and to actually receive that money into the account. So if I missed anything, if you have any questions, slide into my DMs and I can cover them on a future episode. I hope this was informative. I would be so curious to know from everyone listening if you're into real estate, if it's something that you've had on your vision board, and if you want me to, continue updating you guys on this. So with that, I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much, as always, for tuning in, and I will talk to you soon. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's show. Before you go, I have something fun to share. Now, when you leave a review of the podcast on Apple, Spotify, or YouTube, take a quick screenshot and send it to hi@emilywilcox.com. You'll be entered into a drawing to win a free one-on-one Voxer coaching day with me, and you help the show reach more new listeners. Such a win-win. I also invite you to follow me on Instagram at @mmakesmoney and to jump into my free Telegram community, The Money Club, which is linked in the show notes. Until next time, I'm sending you all the magic money vibes.